I'm gonna start just for those of you who don't know who I am and what I do. My name is Dennis. I'm the Associate Director of Paid Media here at LinkGraph. Um, so my career, you know, um, started over 10 years ago in Google Ads and e-commerce, and I had the pleasure of working with a lot of brands like Vogue, Swarovski, Zippo, and also B2B brands, especially in the lead generation and high tech industry and medical. So I have a lot of experience with um, both B2B and B2C side of the business, and specifically on how to drive quality leads and not only leads to your business. And this is what I'm going to show you right now. So this webinar is not going to be full of, PowerPoints, slides, presentation. It's going to go into the accounts, into the meet and greet of how you actually um, implement these things that I'm going to show you to actually get the quality of your leads up properly. So I'm going to wait just a couple more minutes and then we're going to start. Just to see if anybody else joins. I hope you guys are excited. And if at any point you don't hear me anymore, just please type it in the chat. If you have any questions as well, please feel free to type it in the chat. I'm going to leave some minutes after the presentation just for you to be able to ask me some questions, and I'll be able to answer them. And as well, if you need to jump off at any minute, that's totally fine. I will be sending you a recording of this webinar afterwards. But if you need to ask questions and add some, and me to add this some more value to you, please stay for the duration of the webinar. So I can answer your question. Hi, Steve. Hope you're well. Cool. Let's start. So here I have a mock-up campaign I created to start with. This is your usual lead generation campaign. So usually, a lot of businesses, probably you as well, you are here. Many businesses use a maximize conversion strategy, bid strategy, also known as a target CPA. And this is how I set up this specific campaign, right? Because this is your average, lead generation campaign. Many businesses, many PPC professional, when they go into a business and they set up a campaign to drive leads, it's very likely that they're going to use a maximize conversion bid strategy. For those of you who don't know a maximize conversion bid strategy, in a nutshell, you give Google a budget and you tell Google, give me as many conversions as possible for my budget. You can set a target CPA, which means Google will try to get you those conversion at a specific cost, and it will try to not go over that cost. In this case over here, this campaign has a target CPA of $96. It means that Google will try to get me as many conversions as possible while trying to be under $96 cost per acquisition, right? Cost per lead. This is the usual setup for a campaign like that. This setup though has problems. And why does it have problems? You tell Google, okay, give me as many conversions as possible, but you're not telling Google, give me as many quality conversions as possible. And that's a big difference, especially in lead generation, and also like nowadays, we have to deal with a lot of spam, a lot of people actually trying to sell you stuff. And it's something that I'm sure happens to a lot of you. They try to contact you, they contact your website, but instead of actually trying to get your service, they're trying to sell you something. And you want to avoid that, right? But thing is, Google doesn't know. If you don't tell Google that, if you don't tell Google that this is what, this is the conversions you need, right? So how do you tell Google that these are the conversion we need? Well, the first thing is to switch your bidding strategy from maximize conversion to maximize conversion value. And what's maximize conversion value? Also known as value bidding, right? So Google recently is moving away from anything that doesn't generate profit for their advertisers. And the reason is because if Google ads don't work, then they don't have business, right? And so they realize that people need the profit, need that return of ad spend, that return of investment. And so this is also a suggestion that Google gives to advertisers and to partners for 2023 moving forward, because it's a change, in customer behavior, especially now. You guys know we're going through a recession. There's a lot of stuff, people are spending less, and so you need to be able to focus and change your strategy in order to maximize your profit instead of volume, right? So here's the thing. Here's how value bidding maximize conversion value cost works. In a nutshell. So let's say you have three different type of customers who buy from you. This could be customers or it could be leads, right? You have a lead number one that for you has $100 value, for instance. So it's a lead that did business with you. Didn't spend that much. Then you have a lead that spent a little bit more, and then you have a lead that spent a lot of money with you, right? So if you tell Google, okay, I got these leads, right, from my ad activity, I got these leads, and these leads generated this amount of money, you can tell Google exactly the amount of value certain leads gave to your business. And what Google does, when you enter an auction with an ad, Google has so much power, so much information related to users. So they know exactly, what they search, the time of day, where they live, the device, and all of that kind of stuff. So taking all of these signals into consideration, they're able to determine whether the person searching that specific query where you potentially show up is a customer that is valuable to you. Is it going to give you value or not? And Google will try to maximize the value of the customer. So if you have an auction where like a customer is not that valuable to you, then Google will bid less. And you can see over here. So you have three customers entering an auction. You have a low value customer. What Google is going to do is going to lower your bid. If Google feels that the customer is really valuable for you, the lead is very valuable for you, so what it will do, it will increase the bid. So you will have more chance to show up. So here is, in a nutshell, how maximize conversion value cost. So if I go back to my campaign, what I can do is to switch from maximize conversion to maximize conversion value. And I do it from the settings over here. You can see if you change bid strategy, you would go to conversion value. And in this case, you can also set up a target return of ad spend. So you can tell Google, okay, I want 800% target return of ad spend. This is what Google is suggesting me specifically now, based on previous data of the account. It's telling me, okay, we can get you, 800% profit. So let's try to put that as a target. But if you're just starting out with a strategy like this, what I suggest is to just not set a target return of ad spend, just leave it blank. see how much profit you're making out of your sales and your leads, and then subsequently, if you wish, if you feel like, oh, I want more profit, then you can set up a target return of ad spend and put it up as you wish. So this is what I will do. Maximize conversion value, change your bid strategy. Don't be scared. Your conversions will not take a dip. Google has already a lot of data of your conversion, so make the switch confidently. So there's an important thing though to make sure that you have implemented when you use a maximize conversion value strategy, which is the actual value of a conversion. So over here, I have a mock-up conversion that you can see here. So let's say that I'm tracking leads on my website by a lead form, which is a lot of you I know do that. So there's important settings to have here. When you have your conversion action set, the first thing that you need to make sure is that the goal and actual action optimization are set up correctly, right? For this specific action, I selected other because I have other actual live conversions in the other goal settings over here. So I chose other, but you can choose anything you want, right? But you need to make sure that this conversion is set up as a primary action so that it's actually used for bidding optimization. Once you're sure that that's set up like that, it's very important to assign a value of the conversion. For lead forms, you can use the same value for each conversion, and you can determine what the new lead is, what the value of a new lead is for your business, right? And how do you determine that? Well, you can be, for every 100 leads that I receive, 10 close. So, you can calculate the percentage, like what's your average spend? So, how much does a lead spend when becomes a customer? Is it like $1,000? Is it $2,000? Cool. So how many percent, what's the percentage of new leads that I close? And then you will calculate a monetary value for your new leads. And that's the monetary value that you want to input here. And I will show you why you need a monetary value here in a second. But as a start, make sure that you know what the value of a new lead is for your business, and input a monetary value in this field and save it. The other settings don't really matter. And then we can jump actually on the second step of the maximize conversion value strategy, which is tracking the offline conversions. Offline conversions are conversions that happen outside of any online activity, which means, a person submits a lead form, becomes a lead, but then the actual sale happens offline, right? You may call the lead, you may email the lead, you may nurture the lead. And this is not usually done with ads, but it's usually done with a relationship, with building relationship with the lead. So the issue is Google doesn't know then that you closed that deal. It doesn't know that that's an actual conversion. It doesn't know that you made money out of that lead. And so you need to tell Google. You need to, what I like to call, train the robot, train the algorithm, and tell the algorithm, hey, these are the leads that came from the ads that I put on Google that actually converted and generated money for me. And how do you communicate that to Google? Through offline conversions. So when you go into your conversions, you will need to create a new conversion action. And I'm already on the tab over here. You want to click import because we are going to be using Google Sheets for this. And then you select what you want to import, right? In this case, there's various options. I'm not going to go into the nitty and gritty of that because there's so many ways of doing it. I'm gonna stick to the most standard way of doing it and the most reliable way of doing it that is more accessible to a lot of you, because not everybody has Salesforce and not everybody has third-party analytics and stuff like that. So I would use other data sources or CRMs. You have two options. One is conversions from click and one is conversion from calls. I'm going to show you conversions from clicks first, and then I'm also going to show you how to track calls in case that's how your business operates and that's how you get your leads. So I would select track conversions from clicks. I would select continue. Over here, we need to select a goal again, and this make sure that the goal you select here is the same goal that is set up for your initial conversion. So in my case, it's other. As you remember, this is my lead form conversion, and I have it set up as an other. So over here would be other as well. Then I would do a conversion name. In this case, I'm going to call it training converted leads. I'm going to put 2 because I think I have another one. I don't want to mess it up. And here under the value, you would select actually use different value for each conversions. Because converted leads will generate different profit for you, different amount of money. And so you want to be able to tell Google that. And as a default value, you can leave 1 because you're never gonna actually tell Google about the leads that were bad. You're just gonna say, hey, these are the leads that were good and give me more of those leads. Select every, create, and continue. Over here, it gives you different options. You can import data from a platform, from an upload, or from an API. For this specific one, it will be an upload. So Google gives you different options. You can upload constantly. Every day you go there and you upload manually Google Sheet with your converted leads, or you can also schedule it. So over here under the conversion, there's an upload button you can see over here, and you can use schedule. So you will link up a Google Sheet that I will show you. And Google automatically every morning or however you set it up, will go in, pick up all of the converted leads, put them in the system, and use that as an optimization for your account. So this case, for uploads, you can click view templates. It's going to give you different templates on how you need to format the data. And I will show you how this data looks. So I already one of the sheet open here. This is a template, right? You need to make sure actually that you make a copy of this template. This is what Google gives you as a template, but you need to make a copy. So in this case, I will make a copy of it so that we can go in, tweak it, and link it. So over here, Google needs some information about the leads that converted. Specifically, they need the conversion name, which in this case, you need to make sure that it's also case sensitive. So you need to make sure that the conversion name actually matches what your conversion action is, which is in this case, I set it up to be training converted leads 2. So I can just actually copy this one over here and put it as a conversion name. Then conversion time, you need to tell Google at which time, which day the lead converted into a customer. And it gives you also which format is supported. So you can hover over here and see what the format is. Then you would put a conversion value. This is like a monetary value again. So let's say I put an ad, a lead comes through. This lead 2 weeks later becomes a customer and spends with me $1,500. I will put the conversion currency, the conversion value. So every time, you can see over here, there's another field, Google Click ID. And what's the Google Click ID? It's a parameter that gets generated every time a person clicks on an ad. And actually, let me show you exactly what the click ID is. If I go on Google, search for Nike, I'm gonna click on one of their ads. Sorry, Nike, for charging you for the click. And then in their URL, I don't know if you can see it, but the URL generates a Google Click ID, which I will actually copy for you. And this is how it looks like. It's a big series of numbers. You probably cannot see it, but I'm going to copy it here on the spreadsheet. So this is how it looks like. There's a parameter that says GCLID equals, and that's then the Google Click ID. So this is automatically, so how do you get the Google Click ID, right? Because you're like, okay, cool, but how the hell do I know what Google Click ID every single one of my lead has? Well, there's different options. If you use a CRM, any CRM, HubSpot, Salesforce, any of the major ones, the Google Click ID is already something that your CRM stores. So when a person fills up a form, becomes a lead, the Google Click ID is already something that gets put into your lead content information in HubSpot. If you don't see it, you need to implement. This is a web development thing. You can ask your developer, but you need to implement a hidden field in your contact form that capture the Google Click ID and populates the Google Click ID based on the URL. I know it's a mouthful, but if you talk to your web developer, they know exactly what it is. So it's very important that you capture the Google Click ID in order for this to work properly. So this is how it looks like. You will put the conversion time over here, and then this sheet will be full of your conversions of people who actually converted and became a customer. So let's just pretend that we have, like a dozen of these guys. Gonna make sure that the name is the same, and one generated 200, one generated 700 for me, one 459, one 12,000. And then with this information, you will upload it into Google, into your converted lead conversion actions. And Google will know, okay, so this specific person generated this amount of money. This one generated this amount of money, etc. So Google, what we'll try to do, we try to get you the most valuable customer. You're basically telling Google, hey, these are actually the customer who spent. Can you get me as much value as possible out of my ads? Can you get me as much profit as possible? So Google will try to go for the highest monetary value every time you enter an auction. If the person entering the auction doesn't really match those attributes, so it's not really valuable for you, then Google would bid down, or it wouldn't bid at all if it's a bad lead. So this strategy will allow you actually to be able to get rid completely of spam leads, because Google will know, okay, a spam lead doesn't generate any conversion value for this business. Let's not do it. Let's bid down. Let's not bid at all, right? So it's a very, very good strategy to focus on the ultimate business goal, which is actually, revenue and making money. So when you are done with this spreadsheet, you can download it and you can then upload it over here. When you go to the summary of your conversion actions, that you will be able to see the converted lead. When you go to the campaign settings, you need to make sure that your campaign goal is set up as your category, so other over here. And I will put converted leads now as a conversion action as well. So let's go to the conversion. I will do view all conversion actions. Training converted leads over here. And then you will see primary and primary, right? So if I refresh this, you will be able to see it. You need to make sure that this conversion action, which is actually your converted leads, is set as a primary action optimization. Why? Because primary is what Google uses to actually optimize your bid. So you want to make sure that it's over there. So you can see over here, goals, you will have converted leads and the lead form, right? So Google knows that your lead form generates $10. Its value is $10. It's an estimate clearly, but it then knows that your converted leads generate way more than $10. And so it will try to go for those leads. That's basically in a nutshell how maximize conversion value works. So in order to upload then your conversions, your offline conversions, I like to do it with a Google Sheet because you can always constantly update and put new ones over there without having to, manually create another sheet and upload it, etc., etc. Or do it offline on Excel and stuff like that. Do it on Google Sheets is way easier, way faster. So in this case, you would link a Google Sheet. So let's say that this is the Google Sheet that I will use to upload all of my converted leads, all of my sales will be uploaded over here. So I will make sure to select the link over here and to go to my schedule and to link my Google Sheet over here. So it will ask you to actually input your which I don't know where it is right now. I cannot find it, but it should be in your spreadsheet. So you would take this spreadsheet over here and make sure that you link it to an existing Google Sheet over here. And then you need to make sure that you share your Google Sheet with this specific user over here. So you make sure that Google actually has access to this data and they are able to read it and train the algorithm to read it. So it's very important that you share this. You will go over here, you share it. You will put this guy, editor, notify people send, right? So this sheet over here will be shared with Google and they know, and they can see it, they can read it. The algorithm can read it. Here you would select a frequency. You can select every 24 hours. If you get a lot of conversions, you can select weekly. So in this case, I want to have 24 hours. Time, you can select any time. So 8 a.m., 5 a.m., they're all good. So what happens here then, obviously I don't have a sheet link, but then you would save and preview. And what happens is that Google then every 24 hours will go have a look at your Google Sheet, see which lead converted, and use that information to power up your account and to be able and get you more quality conversion, more monetary valuable conversion for your business. So they will use the information that you provided them to actually power up your conversion value. So this is also just a reminder on how this whole process works for the lead form. So a user clicks on your ad, arrays to the site. The Google Click ID is passed onto the site. It's in the URL. If you have a CRM, the Google Click ID is likely already captured. Otherwise, you need to have a hidden field in your lead generation form that is able to capture the Google Click ID and give you that information. The lead information and the Google Click ID, again, are stored in your CRM or you receive it. Then that lead converts at a later stage. The sale deal is completed offline. You take that data and you upload the data into Google Ads and you tell Google Ads, this lead converted. get me more of these leads. As I showed you briefly before, this can be done not only on lead generation forms, not only on clicks, not only on all of that, but also on calls. So if your business gets leads on the phone more than on the lead forms, and by the way, you can use both. You can track both phone conversions and both lead form conversions in case you take care of both and you get leads on both platforms. So the template for the call conversion import looks a little bit different. It looks a bit different because you can see over here, Google needs different data. It needs other data. So you need to be able to have third-party service that is able to give you this information from a call, namely the caller phone number, the start time, the conversion time. So when actually this lead then became a customer, this is the same process as the other one. But the most important difference is the call start time and the caller phone number. So you need to make sure that you know when the call happened and what the caller phone number is. If you're like, okay, person X calling me from this phone number, and I'm going to make a copy, and I'm going to give you a quick example on how it would work. You're like, okay, person X call me in June, and let's give me an error over here. So I may be able to make a copy so that I can edit it. There you go. So, all right, so let's say the lead call me from this number. You will put a start time. So in here is the same. It's gonna give you, like over here, it's gonna give you with this link. If you follow the link, it's gonna give you instructions of how actually to format the data for the call start time so that you don't mess it up. Over here, same thing. You would create a conversion action, converted lead through phone, and then select that and do the same process as we did with the link clicks and stuff. Conversion time, conversion value, conversion currency. So let's say this customer called me, and then he became a customer, generated, $8,000 US. So you would then take this data, schedule it, upload it to Google, same way you did it with the lead form, and Google will be like, okay, cool. So this person calling from this number is likely to generate more money for this person. So what Google will do every time you enter an action with your ads, whether it's a call only ads or you have a phone extension or your ad, Google knows exactly which of these people are more likely to be a quality lead for you. And so it will do the same thing, beat down if it's bad, beat up if it's good. And, you would also tell me, oh, but how do they know it from a phone number? And, I could tell you, well, magic, but it's also the fact that Google, again, has a lot of information on you. So they know exactly your habits, what you search, and they know who you are, where you live, when you're active online, and if you use the phone number for any two-factor authentication, they have your phone number and they can use that in their data analysis. So that's how they know, and that's how they determine that, okay, this person calling is actually a very good lead for this specific type of business. And then you're telling Google, this person is good for me because it generated $8,000. So that's how you do it. And then you would go back into the schedule, do the same process, upload the Google Sheet, share it, etc., etc. So as I told you, it's very important to actually have a third party that gives you this kind of information over here. And as another extra step, this is mostly for people who actually call in. If you have people who click on an ad, right? If you click on the phone number, then it's the same process. You need to be able to capture the Google Click ID. There's different third-party services out there that allow you to track a Google Click ID from a call. If there's obviously if there was a click involved, otherwise you can use this method over here. There was a click involved. One service that I would recommend is CallRail. They're a good service. They track a lot of information, on both the customers, data, phone number, time of call, etc. This data you need, but also Google Click IDs in case the person is actually making the phone call by clicking on your ad instead of just seeing the number and typing it in. Okay. So this is, in a nutshell, the strategy. So just as a recap, changing your bid strategy from a maximize conversion strategy to a maximize conversion value strategy. Upload consistently your offline conversions into Google, telling Google, okay, these are the most valuable conversions for me. Rinse and repeat, right? So there's one very important thing to bear in mind with this strategy is that Google will look at conversions that happen over the last 90 days only. So if you have a click that was a lead, that was generated more than 90 days ago and then converted, so converted on day 91, 92 for you, you won't be able to pass that data back into Google. So it's important that your business has a conversion window of 90 days or less, right? Which is what most businesses have, right? Like if you have to spend more than 3 months converting a lead, probably it's not going well, right? But usually 90 days is more than enough for a person to convert to your service from the time that they become a lead. So that's a very good, important thing to bear in mind, right? And on your sheet over here, you can always constantly add stuff. Google knows they won't duplicate anything because you will have different conversions time, so you can use the same Google Click IDs. If the person that actually became a lead makes more purchases in the future offline, then you can add money over here. So let's say this person over here, the first time they clicked on an ad, they then gave us a revenue of $1,500. But let's say down the line in 6 months, this person, not by clicking on an ad, but they give us more money, so they buy another service, and then it becomes 23,000. Then I will come to this sheet over here, copy his Google Click ID from the first ad he saw, paste it in another row, and put a new amount. So and a new conversion time. So Google will also take into consideration what we call a lifetime value of a customer. So this is also important. This bid strategy is very good because it doesn't focus only on what's happening now, but it also focuses on your customer retention and lifetime value. So Google will be able to actually find you clients that stay with you, clients that do repeated purchases, clients that spend money with you, and not just people who come and go and stuff like that. So you will see how this bid strategy will keep increasing the value of your conversion and of your business over time, and it's very scalable compared to a target CPA maximize conversion strategy. Another thing about the maximize conversion strategy that really doesn't work, and Google is realizing this, is that working on a CPA model, on a cost per acquisition model, cost per lead model, whatever you want to call it, doesn't take into consideration any of this data, any of this lifetime value, because you're just telling Google, okay, give me a lead for under $10. But what if I told you that there was a lead where if you spend $90, it would generate you over time a profit of 25K, 35K? Then you would tell me, okay, Dennis, no, spend actually, $90 for that lead. But with maximize conversion, target CPA, you cannot tell Google that. You can only tell Google, I want as many conversion as possible for this amount of money. Full stop. Instead, you want to tell Google, I don't want 300,000 conversions, but I want 20 conversions that generate a lot of money for me. So it's very much about aligning your business value and your business goals to your advertising strategy. So this is in a nutshell. I'm sure you guys have questions on anything that I went through, on how it works, etc., etc. Again, this is kind of a high level. It takes a lot of work to do this. You need to upload conversions in the regular. So you need to go there and really, really have somebody doing that, either a PPC professional in your team, or you can get in touch with us and we can do it for you. But you need to be there constantly uploading your converted leads and into Google Ads, so that Google consistently has a new stream of information. The fresher the information is, the better Google will be able to optimize for value. So that's really important to do. So do you guys have any questions? Any question on how to do it? If there's anything in your mind and stuff. Thanks, David. Make sure to implement all of these things. They will be really useful. I know for your business specifically, you do a lot of that. And I know, David, you're also big into the e-commerce ecosystem. And this works exactly the same way. For e-commerce, if you have different products that generate different values, you can put it over there. But products with different margins, right? So if you have a product, like a sweater where you're like, okay, cool, this gives me I don't know, 75% profit margin or whatever, it's very valuable for me. Then you upload your sales data into here, tell Google, okay, give me more of that, and Google will try to sell the products that have the most value for your business. So that's a very good strategy, both for e-commerce and both for lead generation. Does the setup change for a PMax campaign? Is the search ad only? So the Performance Max campaign doesn't really have anything like this at the moment, but I know they would want to roll it out at some point. So Performance Max is still a campaign type that is in its infancy, in its early stages. So this would be for search, anything from search, display, and a smart shopping campaign. So anything that allows you to use target return of ad spend, maximize conversion value bid strategy, this would work. Where are the 90 days attribution set? They're set specifically in the Google account itself. So you can see over here, if I go to my conversions, I have a click-through conversion window of 90 days, which is the standard, right? You can potentially do less, but I don't recommend it. Get it as max, the highest value as possible over here, which is 90 days, but it's already default. So that's already automatically done for you. No worries, David. So other couple of information over here. Let me just plug in my laptop. Is struggling with Google Ads platform, super CPU intensive, as you guys know. Another good thing to keep in mind is there's no, I hear this, I have this question actually many times, and it's something that for PPC specifically comes up a lot, a lot of the time, which is, ah, do you need a minimum amount of conversions for this strategy to work, or should I start with manual CPC or maximize clicks? Should I start with anything like that before I jump into conversion? And the answer is simply no. Google became really good with intent and understanding intent. They have a lot of data. The algorithms came a long way in the last years, so you can confidently go with a strategy like this from the get-go, even if you have a completely new Google Ads account, completely new product, zero conversions. Just start. You can start with maximize conversion value absolutely straight away. If you have a maximize conversion campaign and you want to switch to maximize conversion value, I can confidently tell you that you can do it straight away. If you are a bit on the fence and you don't know if you want to do it, then I would suggest to set it up as an experiment. So you have both a control group, which is like your regular campaign running on maximize conversion, and then you have a maximize conversion value campaign running. They run in parallel, they don't compete with each other, but then you will be able to see the difference in performance and in difference in return of ad spend between the two campaigns. And every business is different, but I see time and time again that maximize conversion value will give you, believe me or not, more value than just a maximize conversion regular CPA campaign. So do you guys have any other question? Give me a thumbs up if this was useful for you and you got value. Again, I'm gonna be able to resend you the link to this webinar. I know there was a lot of information over here, so you would be able to rewatch it. Question from Steve: can you use the same data to feed into a social campaign? If so, which platforms? Yeah, the short answer is yes. Facebook and Instagram work a little bit different, but they have the same principle. And actually, if you guys are interested, in one of my next webinars could be actually offline conversions and conversion value for platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Absolutely. But yes, it is possible to do also on social media, paid social, not just on Google search. Absolutely, yes, it is. It just works a little different because obviously over there you don't have a Google click ID, but you have different IDs and different stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna still wait a couple of minutes for any other question, but I'm very happy for this webinar. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of it. And this was also a huge experiment for LinkGraph, and specifically for the paid media department of LinkGraph, as the first ever PPC live webinar for LinkGraph. So it was a little bit of an experiment. There were a lot of things going on. So thank you guys for sticking to it. And to ask, to be able to ask questions, stuff like that. This is not gonna be the only webinar. I'm gonna do way more, probably once, one every month, on a number of different topics. So, you guys know where to find me. You can contact LinkGraph directly. They will put you in touch with myself. If you have any question about any PPC related stuff, if you need me to refresh your mind about this topic, conversion value and offline conversion, all of that, please reach out. If you're like, I don't want to do this is too much, I want you to do it for me, then we can talk about it and I can do it for you. We do offer PPC management services, so I'm always available for that. But yeah, really, thank you so much for joining this webinar with me. You will receive an email from me in some time with the replay of this webinar. And again, if you guys have any question at all on this webinar or other PPC questions, if you want me to do a webinar in the future about a specific topic, just reach out to me. And I'm here, and I'm your guy. And let's do some magic on your Google Ads account. So thank you. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, unicorns are real. Yeah, they are. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, so guys, have a good rest of your day. Have an amazing weekend ahead. And for any client that I have here, I love you so much, guys. And we'll implement these strategies for you as well whenever you're ready. Have a good one, David. Thanks for joining. And yeah, it was a pleasure, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.